Guys, what just happened? Like, literally, what just happened? What is good, YouTube? This is Vortex. I'm back with another RWBY review slash discussion video here. As always, guys, these review videos will be uploaded to my channel every Saturday, roughly a couple of hours after the latest chapter of RWBY Volume 6 gets pushed out. And so, guys, the expression on Ruby's face says it all. Like, it's the calm before the storm as far as our reaction. Like, chapters 1 and chapter 2 were, have been very great as far as volume 6 is concerned. And, it seems like we are going to get the answers that we have been searching for a good number, roughly 2 or 3 seasons so far. So, we just have to be patient with each chapter as they are getting pushed out each weekend. But let's dive into this review, guys. Firstly, guys, I want to talk about something that I mentioned at the end of my reaction of chapter 1 last week. I had mentioned when the intro was going on and the person with the hood on, I had mentioned that I thought that was Cinder. It was confirmed in this chapter, in chapter 2, that it was her. Because I wasn't thinking about anybody else. Literally, when I was looking at it, I was like, that must be Cinder. That probably is her. And it was confirmed in this episode. A lot of people were thinking that it was Neo, but that pretty much, like I said, got answered in this chapter. But that does not leave Neo out of it. There's something within the intro itself. If you go back and really pay attention to Cinder's spots, well, technically the fight scene that they gave Cinder in the intro, you should be able to tell something as far as something specific that pretty much roughly 95% certain shows or pinpoints that Neo is in this volume and that Neo and Cinder are going to have a fight. But that's, for your, judgment to be passed on as far as that information goes. But Cinder is back. She's here. She survived the fall in the pit that she, during the fight with Raven at the end of volume 5. So yeah, Cinder is here. Also, guys, I also want to talk about Maria. Maria, the elderly young lady who rocks the goggles. Her character reminds me a little bit of Matt Murdock from Daredevil / Geordi LaForge from Star Trek Next Generation. For those of you who are my age, for those of you who remember TNG, Star Trek TNG, The Next Generation from back in the 90s, growing up as a kid, for me at least, those of us who are my age, you remember Geordi LaForge. But Maria, pretty much, she's supposed to be blind from what she said in this chapter. And she, it basically seems like she, without the goggles, she's blind. But with them, she can sort of see or have a visual of people and places and things, but she can't fully see them. At least that's just from, her perspective of how she explained herself. I think that too, that per the intro and her character, that she might have a connection with Ruby as far as her silver eyes, but we're not too sure if that is the correct assumption. We'll just have to wait and see what happens as the volume moves forward. But there's a reason why she's with the group. We just don't know exactly why she's with them. I guess we'll find out more about Maria in this volume. But key things, guys: Ozpin, Salem, Jin, the relics. We are going to get Ozpin's past, or at least a specific thing, main thing, in chapter 3 next week, and more than likely as far as what he's been trying to hide, because he's been lying to our faces this whole time, and specifically RWBY and crew, and they want these answers, and we're all pretty much getting them hopefully in chapter 3 next week. Jin reminds me of Genie from Aladdin. That's literally what it reminds me of. As far as Jin and the relics are concerned, my thing that I'm thinking about, questioning more so, is, are there other Jin-like spirits trapped inside these relics? And if so, what are their powers? What do they do? Jin answers, 3 questions. What do if there are other spirits locked in these relics, do they specifically do like wishes, or something like that, like in a sense like a genie, like basically like Genie from Aladdin, type of thing. So that's my thoughts on the relics and Jin. Oscar, my homie, he's the homie for that, guys. When you think about how he fought Ozpin's control just to tell RWBY and them to actually call Jin to come out of the relic, that was dope in itself, guys. And I'm just sitting back like, Ozpin, you need to just stop, hiding from telling, telling your student, you're basically your former students, well, technically your students of the school, of the former school, basically, that, at least tell them what's really going on. I get that you're trying to not cause a panic with, as far as the world is concerned, but just tell your core group exactly what they need to hear. Because you up here lying this whole time. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I kind of feel like you're the true bad guy in all of this. So Osmond needs to chill. And then plus, he was up here trying to dismiss Professor Lionheart's, decision making later on, before, Professor Lionheart was killed by Salem. Like, dude, like, you were really sitting up here like, what he did was irrefutably wrong, right? But he was trying to say like what Professor Lionheart did in the past, as far as like community work and stuff, outweighs him basically turning to the dark side and joining Salem. Like, dude, like, no, he literally tried to kill your students at the end of Volume 5. You were there. You were in the battlefield. You saw it go down. That should be unforgivable, dude. Don't try to dismiss Professor Lionheart's decision to go into the dark side. And like I said, trying to kill your students. Like, chill with that, Professor Ozpin, liar. So the episode was, the chapter 1 and chapter 2, volume 6 is starting off really great, guys. It really is. It's back. I'm glad it's back. And just more questions that hopefully we will get some answers in chapter 3 to come. I just can't wait. Man, like I said at the beginning of the video, what just happened, I can't wait, because also between Ozpin and Salem, for those of you who didn't see my video on discussing Ozpin's past lives, and me just talking about more so questioning, like, how old is Ozpin, and which one of these, from the intro, which one of these 3 past lives that he lived, which one is the original Ozpin, and did he really, what was his relationship with Salem? Were they former lovers? And Salem kind of reminds me, from what Jen said, that that Salem was seemingly locked in this single tower. Kind of reminds me of Rapunzel, the story of Rapunzel, where basically Salem is locked in this tower, and maybe it did Ozpin is Ozpin the one that kind of maybe trapped her in this tower. This is just a a question that I'm thinking about. I'm putting out there in the air, because with everything that we've gotten as far as this information is concerned, there's more questions that we need answered, and hopefully we'll get that starting with chapter 3 next week. So with that, guys, that's my thoughts. Just be on the lookout for more discussion videos this week as I dive more into this chapter, and also chapter 1 as well, as we prepare for chapter 3 this coming weekend. So be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. What did you all think of chapter 2? Let's have a chat. Let's dive into it, guys. And I will chat with you all this weekend with my review of chapter 3. Peace, guys.